Welcome to part 2 of our winter adventure. In our second day at Rooiputs, we plan a day out doing the triangle going down from Rooiputs to Twee Rivieren, just to stock up on a few things, and then we go up the Aob to have a lovely late lunch, burger braai at Auchterlonie, and back to Rooiputs. We left early in the morning for our usual early morning drive, planning to come back to camp for breakfast, and we had left something behind after we had left for our drive, and when we went back we discovered the jackals had caused a bit of trouble at our campsite, where they actually broke into our tent and ate the dough we had for some bread later that day. Even though we had zipped up the tent, we had left the zips closed at the bottom of the tent, which they had clearly figured out how to push apart and sneak in. They really do remind me so much of the baboons and the monkeys we have experienced in various other campsites, from Addo to Agrabis to the Kruger, where you have to watch out for these guys. They're very clever and they know what they're doing.
On one of our morning drives, we came across two jackal in the distance, eating what seemed to have been a brown hyena. Not too certain, but that's kind of what we put it down to in the end.
So after our little sunrise drive, we went back to camp and started making breakfast. We've decided to take more videos of some of the things we make, just in case some of you are interested in our recipes and our food ideas whilst camping. So this recipe comes from Nadia, who was one of the contestants on the Great British Bake Off, and she's come out with a book and a series that we saw on Netflix called Time to Eat. We've called it an omelette wrap, and we actually have it quite often at home. It's one of our kids' favorites. We tend to make it a little bit healthier, I suppose, than some would, by adding a lot more peppers and onion and, healthy ingredients into the omelette wrap. But you can really be creative and put whatever you enjoy in your omelettes on this particular wrap. Once you've whisked your egg and put it in the pan, you sprinkle on top whatever you prefer as a topping. In our particular instance, we fried up some onion, peppers and bacon, and then we put cheese on top of that, and then you put the wrap on top of that mixture. Once it's kind of set, you flip it over so that you actually toast the wrap and fold it in half. It is really yummy, and it can fill you up for most of the day, which it did for us, which was really perfect when we had planned a long drive thereafter. We did use the leftover onion, peppers and bacon to make a cheese sauce by just simply adding a little bit of extra butter and flour to the peppers, bacon and onion, and making a bit of a bechamel sauce by adding additional milk. That made a wonderful cheese sauce once we had added cheese, which we packed away for our picnic later that afternoon at Auchterlonie for our burgers. We do try and make our menu and our food ideas quite versatile so that we can double up and do different things with similar ingredients within a day or two of each other. You never want to waste anything when you're in the bush. You don't want to have leftovers unnecessarily. For instance, that same cheese sauce would go really great with a pasta or even a steak. Okay, so our soda's been holding, and that's while charging all our camera batteries and cell phones and lights, as well as our fridge. And then this is a nifty basket that my mom made us. Regardless of whether our camera batteries or cell phone batteries were still decently charged every time we were back at camp, we use that as an opportunity to top up on all our battery charging whilst the sun was shining. Because once the sun goes down and we never had solar, we didn't want to drain our batteries on that kind of charging.
We came across two southern yellow-billed hornbills building a nest in one of the trees that we passed. I thought this was a pretty cool sighting. Never seen them nesting before, and they look super, super busy. What I find pretty cool about this sighting as well is we came across a crimson-breasted shrike playing around at the bottom of the tree. I've never been able to get hold of a really decent picture of these guys because they are super, super busy, but I am still trying.
Let's take a look. Whenever you travel, it's always worthwhile to support the local communities whenever you have the chance. In this case, the Kgalagadi have a number of bushmen that sell their wares on the side of the road, and we do encourage you to please support them.
We came across a tree filled with black-billed hornbills. We probably spent a good couple of minutes with them. They were flying from one tree to another, having a great time. Have not seen these guys much in our adventures, but I do recollect seeing them in Kruger, but it is the first time we have seen them at in the Kgalagadi, which is quite a nice sighting. We always count ourselves lucky when we come across batelier in the park. They are one of Carmen's favorite birds. The batelier have really long wings and a short tail, so if you watch them in flight, you can actually see their red feet extend beyond the tail in flight.
By the time we got to Auchterlonie, it had already gotten a little bit late, so it was quite a late lunch there. We had our burgers, but they were divine, and they really doubled up as a little bit of an early supper. And then we were going to cross over the short dune road back to KK and to Rooiputs.
Eating something.
not expecting a giraffe.
Okay, so this is the first for us on the Norsorb riverbed, and we came across this lone giraffe. He must have been about 200 to 300 meters down the riverbed. Generally, we only see these giraffe pretty high up on the Ayub side. So yeah, this is quite a nice sighting for that area.
So in the morning we had also prepped a recipe we've never tried before, and to be honest it was actually really nice, so I would recommend it if you do like banana and chocolate. But we tried a bride banana split where you slit a line through a banana and put pieces of chocolate inside the banana, wrap it in foil and put it on a fire. So instead of like a big supper when we got home that night, we just made some bread that we had redone and had these banana splits, and our kids loved it. It was really yummy. So what ideas do you have, and what do you do for dessert on the fire? This was our third and last night at Rooiputs, and we had started prepping and planning for a departure the next morning to go up to Norsorb. Our booking originally was for Twee Rivieren, and upon arriving we had, as we often do, just asked if there was any late cancellations or no-shows, and we were fortunate enough to swap out those 2 nights for 2 nights at Norsorb. We had already got the third night at Norsorb in one of the premier camping sites, which was a first for us, and we'll share with you. But we'll see you in part 3. Hope you've enjoyed.